we need to start to hire people to play positions that we cannot fulfill ourselves.
We in the field, we in the field, right? We in the field, we in the field. Just put it in work, we raising the bar. You tuned in to the Trackstarz.
Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Make sure you go to trackstarz.com for all the latest. This is brought to you by History Music Group, presents Fight Club, the new album from D Black featuring Jared Sanders, Mouthpi3ce, Eshawn Burgundy, Phil J, Brother 3, Mission, and Jermaine Martell. Pre-order now on iTunes, available everywhere on May 25th. For more information, visit www.fightclubhmg.com. Speaking of HMG, what's going on? D Black in the building.
What up, man?
What's going on, brother? Good to see y'all.
Yeah, man. Yo. So you are finally in the building.
Yeah.
We've crossed paths with you several times, doing big things, man. So we wanted to catch up with you, see what you're working on. Obviously, you're working on something.
Yeah. Got a new album coming on May the 25th. As you heard, man, everybody's on there. It's been a long time coming because I've been in the background a lot. So this is finally me, doing what I'm supposed to do.
How long has this been in the works? Because we've seen you at the Flavor Fest. We've seen you all over the place. I guess you were churning some stuff during that time we didn't know about.
Yeah, it's probably been, I want to say, almost a year and a half now.
Wow.
Just putting it together. So I've probably done 30, 40 songs and narrowed it down to what I wanted to use.
Wow. So I don't know if you know, but the community that we have, this Trackstarz Universe that we're building, is full of creatives, people who are producers, directors, musicians, podcasters, whatever, right? So we're always looking for advice. And you've been in the game for a minute. And I want to see if you have any insight on artists that are coming up, what they can do to better prepare themselves to enter into this world, right? So that's where I'm going to be coming from.
Okay.
So you have a history, right? You were working on a deal with Def Jam.
Yeah, that was years, a long time ago.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell us about your evolution from then to now.
From then, I was doing a deal. I want to say that was around 2002, 2001. And at the time, I was rapping what everybody else is rapping. Same thing, kill, murder, all of that stuff. And I wasn't saved yet. I got saved. Once I got saved, I decided not to do any music. I wanted to just focus on really getting foundational in the church. So I didn't do any music for 8 years. And my first album I dropped probably at 30.
Wow.
So I was running a youth ministry during that time, and God led me to pretty much go back into it like 2010 and drop my first. But in the meantime, I was working behind the scenes with a lot of different people. So that was really my transition, man. I just wanted to make sure that I was foundational and make sure that I was doing this for a real reason and not just rapping, basically.
That's awesome.
Well, go ahead.
During that time, you say you were working with some people behind the scenes. Who were some of the people you were working with?
Oh, man. Bizzle, Eshawn, got GS down in Houston. Man, there's so many people. Kayla Starks.
What role did you play for them during that time?
Some I've done executive production. Some in the background, dealing with direction and helping with everything from beats to with direction, videos, and all of those different things.
So you was like A&R and executive producer?
Pretty much, yeah. So I'm even shot some videos and like the Surf Gang way back in the day.
Okay.
So I've done a lot of different things, had my hands in it pretty much.
Okay. What do you say that as you've seen with CHH, even being behind the scenes, what do we need behind the scenes of CHH? Because I think everybody so quick to grab the mic, and they may have other talents, and that I think the thing is it doesn't get highlighted. Like it doesn't get highlighted to be an A&R or executive producer. I think now people are starting to do it, like with the Natalie Lawrence situation and other people's situation, but it doesn't. A lot of people are not highlighted in the background. So what's some jobs that is a dire need for CHH that's in the background?
Right now, I'm actually finishing up my degree, man, dealing with business and in entertainment. So I'll be done this year. I think that's what's needed. We need more education on what it is that because we have a lot of different artists, but we don't have anybody with the resources to pretty much have any channels. So once you drop an album, it's like, okay, do you have management? Do you have PR? Do we have, all of these things in places? That's what we need more than anything. We need somebody who has expertise.
Gotcha.
In what we're doing, pretty much.
Gotcha. So do you think that, like, what did you want to do different with his story than anybody, any other label that's out in CHH?
Personally, I feel like I don't want to control any artist. I really want to give every artist the idea of coming together and building their brand. And any resource that I have, I really want to build everybody to get to a point where they can run their own thing. You know what I mean? So if they don't know what to do or how to do it, it's like, okay, let's get together. I have resources, you have resources, but at the same time, let's figure out how you can build this brand. Because God gave us all a purpose and, what we should be doing, but I don't feel like I should control that. You know what I mean?
For you, what does it look like to control an artist? What does that look like?
Really, let's say you have an idea, a brand, and everything that you want to do. When you come to me,
let's say I have one.
Right? And you come to me and you say, this is what I want to do. A lot of times people will say, okay, this is how you're going to do it. This is what you should do. Now, me personally, I don't really deal with artists who don't know what they want to do already. They got to really have a focus and an idea of how God wants them to, do their ministry. So I just help expand that versus literally taking it and saying, this is what you should do. This is how you're going to do it. This is when you're going to do it. This is, you know what I mean? To me, that's what I mean by controlling it, really. And taking money, all of their money. You know what I mean? That also is a level of control as well.
So how hard was it for you to figure out the right business mix for a CHH label? Because knowing how Def Jam probably structures their contracts, how tempted were you to match what they were doing, or how tempted were you to try and run as far away from what you saw them give you?
Man, when I first, actually a couple years ago, I moved to Florida. I was doing a deal. I had a deal with Sony, right? With Sony Red at the time. And so I had a contract with them, and I began to learn a lot from that. You know what I mean? That background and what was going on. I kind of saw the background of what they were doing with Reach at the time and all of those different things. So I learned how to structure things. But at the same time, what I learned as well is what's missing is artist development. We don't have that anymore.
Right.
So I look at it now where I don't structure it in a sense business-wise the same, but I still structure it from the perspective of when you have a label, how you should build the artist. You know what I mean? So with us, if you've seen with his story, whether it be with Mouthpi3ce and myself, I have Jermaine Martell as well, it hasn't been a right out the gate run full speed thing, because we're really like, even with Mouth, he's been in it for a while. But it's like he's still trying to figure out, how do I market myself? How do I do this?
So mindset though.
He's one of the greatest to me. Great.
Hands down. So he's still trying to figure out that marketing piece.
I mean, the funny thing is within what we do, we don't really have it. That's the thing. So it's like everybody is trying to tell you how to do it, but there's no blueprint to what we do. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's really no outlet or resource that we really have to do it. So it's going to always be a continuous, how should I? You know what I mean? Yeah.
There's no Kanye move for us, right?
Nah. And what's funny is
there isn't, right?
I mean, you could try it, but we know that's not gonna, that's not gonna work. I mean, this is the realest. I always say, especially in the mainstream, you could do a certain thing and get away with it. Here, you're gonna get checked. You know what I mean? This is the realest genre, really, any that you could do, because.
But if getting checked, the way to get marketing.
No.
I'm wondering, and I know everybody looking at me weird, right?
It makes sense.
Like I have the wrong idea, but in this case, right? Think about what Kanye did, a crazy marketing move, right? It's wild, but he's on everybody's lips, right? Everybody's talking about it, right? So he did something crazy, outright, wild, weird, right? And then everybody starts talking about it. In this genre, is there something that could be done that's equal to it?
If that was your motive, But if that's your motive, then that
you're in the wrong industry,
right? That undermines your whole what you're doing in general. You know what I mean?
But
it's like you get to the wrestling ring and you put gloves on. It's like, what are you doing?
But isn't the overall goal, like, okay, not the overall Christian goal, right? But the marketing goal for an artist, right, is to get people talking about your music and what you're doing.
Right.
What is that move? Is there any type of move that can be done that'll make everybody immediately start talking about one particular artist?
I think it's just structure. It's really structure. When you look at like Reach, they have a machine. You know what I mean? Even seeing it through Sony, it's really a machine. It's like it goes through this person, it goes through that, goes through quality control. I mean, they have such a system that it's just in place. You know what I mean? And it gets to the places it needs to be. They figured out who they want to market to, how they want to market it. A lot of times with us, it's like, okay, we're gonna put this album out.
We'll see what happens.
Who we going? I want to reach the world.
Yeah,
that's in marketing. That's not there's no focus. You know what I mean? So if you figure out who you want to target, what's your demographic? You know what I mean? Who are you trying to reach? You know what I mean? So all of those things I think is really was missing. That's all it is.
Do you think like going back to your project, do you think your project is one of those things that you have like a target person for? Like, I know that, or is it one of those things where it's like, I made music and I want the world just to hear it? You know what I mean?
I think you should have a target, but at the same time, you don't know. Yeah. Because like my manager sent me a message the other day, and he was like, I put up this remix that you did, and like 11 clubs are playing it. You know what I mean? And I was like, wow, that wasn't my goal. That wasn't my target, but that happened. You know what I mean? So I think you still should have a focus, and then you let whatever happens happen. But a lot of times we like, all right, we're going to go to the clubs. And that's your target and that's your focus, but you're going to the club and the name of the song is, Jesus Sandals. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, bro, they just off the name alone.
It's a hot title, man.
The club is not playing.
It's a hot title, Jesus.
It could be a hot song too, right? But just when they pick it up, the DJ is like, this ain't gonna get the people moving. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what it is.
I'm glad you're talking about this. I want to know, because what we're trying to do here is figure out what people need and try and fill the gaps, as you know, right? So what are the top 3 things that you think an independent label needs? Like, what are promotion you said is one. Like, what are the things like people need to come in and fill those gaps for these people to make it get to where it needs to go?
I'm in this position right now myself, and even talking with other artists and other people who have labels, we need to start to hire people to play positions that we cannot fulfill ourselves. We have the ability to do it, but we can do a lot of things okay.
You talking about administratively,
PR, everything, and really within the focus of whatever it is that you need for your label. A lot of times we'll try to figure it out ourselves. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna send out this, I'm gonna send that, and we need to put people in positions who have the ability to do it. It's just finding those people is really has been the hardest thing. A lot of times you have to go outside of the genre, and you're like, they don't understand my focus. They don't understand what it is that I want. I've had some distributors who right now are trying to figure out, they want to give me distribution, but they don't understand what it is that I'm doing. How can you distribute something? How can you, if you don't understand what I'm doing, you're going to be pushing it to the wrong places. So,
that's good. That's good.
So I have a question for you, because this is one of those rare moments where you get someone who has been able to influence the mainstream genre, but also tell people who are interested in going that direction what's on the other side of it. Like, what advice would you give to an artist who's just starting off and they're like, man, I really want mainstream to embrace me, but they need to be here honing their craft with God and understanding this genre and what they're doing first? Like, what advice would you give them about not trying to cross over so soon?
Honestly, the advice I would give is I ran from that.
Okay.
I was there. You know what I mean? And most of the artists that I know who maybe crossed over from that, let's say somebody like Jar Sanders, that's my brother.
Yeah.
He's cool with mainstream artists. They bring him on their projects, right? And he's leaving that. He's trying to get as far away from that as possible. So, a lot of times people are trying to run towards something that people are. Why, you got to ask yourself, why is everybody leaving that? You know what I mean? Not just specifically from a standpoint of doing it for God, because it's possible to do it for God and still maintain your integrity.
Yeah.
If you do it right and if you're doing it for the right reasons. You see what I'm saying? But the advice, just to get back to your specific question, the advice to me that I would give is check your motive and your heart. Because truth be told, a lot of times, why are you trying to get there?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Like, what is your goal when you get there? Is it money? Is it people knowing you? Is it because you don't have to try to get there to spread Christ or to spread your message. You just go do that. And if God leads you there, that's where you'll be. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
That's good.
If a major came back to you and said, like a Def Jam or whoever, and said, "Yo, I got a deal for you," would you take it now?
No. I got out of that deal 2 years ago with the Sony situation. Thank God for a good lawyer. You know what I mean? Because I didn't owe anything. Matter of fact, they kind of helped me get to the situation where I am now with the label. You see what I'm saying? So I walked away in a good situation, and I promised myself I would never, even with what you just said, the distribution deal that people wanted me to do, they wanted me to sign as an artist.
Yeah, they want you, and then they'll take whoever you.
They'll have the whole label. Matter of fact, man, I had a label. I had some people who actually, at the time, I was working with Eshawn. I was working with the guy GS. They were like, "Man, we'll give you a label if you can get Eshawn to sign with you." Like, and they but this is the thing. It was like, I don't know if you guys saw the New Edition thing when they were like, he thought he was the guy owning the label. It was like one of those situations where they were like, "Hey, tell Eshawn we can get infantry and blah blah blah, but it's really gonna be yours."
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? Like they've tried every single thing. I've seen it all. You know what I mean?
So the way you sound is like, sometimes we because this is like a subgenre. Everybody knows CHH is like a subgenre.
Right.
Is it to a point where the industry is got their eyes on this?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I know in Florida when I first got there, I did a mainstream station there. I premiered the song with me, Eshawn, and Jared, which blew my mind. I was like, they were like, sign the wall. I was signing under Jay-Z. I'm like, what in the world am I doing in here? You know what I mean? But when they brought me in, there was a DJ there who he DJs for the Orlando Magic there.
Yeah.
And he was so excited. He was like, I had Lecrae there last week.
Wow.
He was sitting in the chair right where you are. And he was like super excited. And I was uncomfortable. Like, I was like, okay, cool. And he was like super excited. And he's like, man, I see what you guys are doing. They want to start a station or a part of the station there that really highlights CHH, but they don't know anything about it. So they're trying to pull me in, and I'm like, I did radio before, but I don't have the time to do that. But at the same time, when I said, yeah, Biz was in town, he was like, who?
Oh wow.
You see what I'm saying?
So they just know a couple.
Yeah.
They know, but they are looking, they're watching, and he was saying that, he said, I don't want to make it feel like we're taking advantage of you guys, but we realize that it's marketable and it's profitable.
Yeah.
But that's the problem, because that's when capitalism.
Yeah.
You know.
Capitalism and CHH.
Yeah, imagine that. It'd be like those Jesus sandals be real. You see what I'm saying? They'd be selling Jesus sandals.
Jesus phones.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Jesus covers.
Yeah,
That's serious. So for the artists that are coming up, and you've gotten away from 2 deals, I'll say, what should they be looking out for? Because they're going to start getting calls, the ones that are doing really well.
Yeah.
What should they be avoiding? Contract wise,
360s,
personnel wise,
360s. But believe it or not, 360s are present in what we're doing.
Yeah.
Not necessarily CHH, but I would say
And Christian music.
They're
360s
man, people
in
losing their
Christian
names.
music?
You understand what I'm saying? Because once you sign that likeness, it's some people who are gonna leave situations that they have and they can't take their name with them.
Jesus.
You see what I'm saying? Because it's really, because everything is so profitable as far as streaming now. You only make money on merch and shows and all of these different things. People aren't buying CDs the same way they used to. You got streaming, so that the labels are trying to find any way that they can profit off of.
We heard recently that they're about to shut down iTunes digital download. Like they're going straight streaming.
I've been really focusing, telling people, focus on your website, focus on your email list, because when all of this stuff shut down,
it's gone.
Then all of your music is gone. Where are the people coming? You know what I mean? So you got to have your own infrastructure.
I'm gonna ask you this. Somebody wants to know, right? What's a 360 deal? Can you explain that to the people just for?
That's pretty much where the label, or they pretty much own everything. They get a piece of everything you
New
do.
Slave. That's
pretty much your merch, your shows, the CD sales, your image. They own it all.
But it's called a 360 because don't like you get a bunch of stuff in the beginning, right? Like you go on this whole deal and then at the end you end up with nothing.
No,
That's every deal. That's every
No,
deal.
I thought it was called 360 because you get like a whole bunch of
360
stuff
means they
initially.
own everything
Them
that
360
you are.
means it's
It circles
complete.
you and it encompasses you.
Anything with your name on
everything.
it, they own.
But I
your
thought it
name.
was full circle because you start off really well, right?
No, that's not it.
Like no, I thought you start off really poor, right?
It's just
And
a
then-
coincidence.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it does go together though. It goes together. It's pretty much the same thing. So you really, like you say, when you say new slaves,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, if you just want to be known and you want people to know who you are,
Yeah.
then that's
That's
you
the
can
deal
do
for
it.
you.
Yeah, that's
They,
your deal.
They taking like 80,
Yeah.
90%.
But they're gonna make sure that you
Oh, wow.
are the most marketed person ever because they want to make the money off of you. So they're gonna have you on every show, every tour, you're gonna have plenty of merch and all of that stuff, but it's gonna be their money.
So how much? So then, how would you make money from it? Because I mean, at one time it used to be your merch and show is where you make your money, but now they taking parts of your show and parts of merch. Is like you need a part-time job too.
That's a good
Some
question.
of them do. Some of them have less money than all of us sitting here.
Wow.
But they're famous, right?
That's
So
what I'm
you can
saying,
get
yeah.
a couple extra perks from being famous.
Yeah.
So even though they're taking a big percentage, but if they're taking a big percentage of millions of dollars, then you end up all right.
Yeah.
But the people who get hurt are the ones that sign, then they shelve them.
Yeah.
They still own them, but they ain't making any money at all.
Yeah.
That was my situation was almost that. Even with the Def Jam, it was 7-album deal. You know what I mean? And yeah, it was $1 million up front, but that wasn't my money. That was budget. I
gotta
was
pay
shooting a
back.
video and everything at the time. And I remember, you know, I don't know if people are familiar with how, even with the movie industry, how it works, but they just write anything on there. It'll be like gold water. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just coming out the budget.
Yep.
It's not really getting some of the stuff that they even putting on there. And then you got $1 million video, and then when you see it, you're like, that video don't look like it's worth $1 million. You see what I'm saying? So I had that budget, but then I thought about it. I said, man, if they just if I did 2 years in between, that's 14 years of my life. You got to think, LL Cool J just finished his deal not too
Def
long
Jam,
ago.
Yeah.
LL Cool J.
And he been on Def Jam since the 80s.
That's what I'm saying. He just fulfilled his, his requirements.
Yeah.
Think about that, man. That's
Dang.
he's not even putting music out anymore.
Yeah.
LL Cool J?
LL Cool J just finished probably maybe
He just got free?
maybe 3 years ago. I think it was
I probably like early 2010.
early 2010, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
it's crazy.
So how do you overcome as an independent label? The reason why people still sign those deals is because it's like a booster pack. Like it gets you from here to here real fast. Every independent thing like what we're doing is slow, right?
Right.
So how do you make it over that gap without getting lost? Because a lot of people try to make it past that and then they fall off. They run out of money. They get, they get old. You know what I mean? Like there's all kinds of like barriers to independent success. How do you plan to get past that?
Unfortunately, patience and consistency. It's like consistency first, probably. Because if you're just consistent with first getting that structure and then consistent with the material and then making the material excellent. So it's like consistent, excellent material. And then
that's my
patience.
mind. Yep. I say
You
that
know
all
what I
the
mean?
time.
Just and then patience. I remember originally reaching out to all of the different websites, giving my own stuff to them, and then I finally said, you know what, I need somebody who can send it out. You know what I mean? And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something every month. And then I'm gonna send something every week. I'm gonna try to do as much as I can, because like you said, with age, I'm older. You know what I mean? And I had an expiration date for myself.
Yeah.
But God was like,
It
he had his
extends. I
own.
think even us, like when we started rapping, it's like, when we get to this age, it's like it's probably gonna be done for us, but it's not. Like
We don't
you
even want
really-
to say it, right?
Yeah, I don't even want to
We're
say
probably
the
at the
ages
age
'cause
that we
passed
said
it.
we'd be done.
But I mean,
all good.
the age
We
has
can
been
fake it like 2
extended.
Chainz.
It's
2
been
Chainz
extended.
been 39 for like 12 years.
As long as somebody wants to hear it, that's the key. The moment I do something and nobody cares, then I'll be like,
And what we're starting to see is that that's not possible. There's people way past.
Yeah.
As long as it's good and there is a market for it,
Yeah.
there's no limit.
yeah.
I think my biggest fear for CHH is that when the mainstream do come in, that it's not like it changes people. Like, and I think financially sometimes it does, but at the same time, it's like we have talented people on this side, and if you give them a deal, and then like, you know what I'm saying, like.
How are you gonna keep your artists
Yeah.
from getting the big hit?
Yeah, they go. Well, for me personally, the people that I deal with, they foundation.
Oh, man.
they already.
Amazing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't gotten to a point where I have looked at other artists and thought about, okay, I could sign them if I wanted to, but like Mouth, I didn't sign Mouth. Mouth signed himself. He was like, we were family. Like we were already friends. We had already built. Our families are together. Like he's been to my house. I've been to his house. Our kids and his wife and my wife, like they know each other. So it's like, that was a no-brainer. He was like, bro, I'm going to do this with you.
You brought him out of retirement. I remember at Flavor Fest, you was like with him right there. Like, he's going to bring me.
I brought him there because he was at my house. And I got a call. They say, bro, Flavor Fest. I said, oh, yeah. And I looked at him and I was like, let's go. You know, somebody had gave me some tickets. You know what I mean? And I was like, all right, so when I saw you guys, I know how, you know, you guys encourage him a lot. You know what I mean? You guys are big fans of Mouth. So I was like, oh, man, let me get over there to that room and get him over there. You know what I mean? Because, you know, that's what you need. You know, but Mouth, give the backstory, man. He went through so much in his life, putting that music first. But now his wife is like, go. You know what I mean?
He told us the backstory. It was amazing, man. When he came with us at Flavor Fest, he was like, it's me. And I was like, okay. He was like, Mouth. And I was like, whoa. And then I was like, guys, y'all with it. And it was like, we couldn't even find a photo of him online.
I know.
Up until that point.
He still has, to this day, and we were laughing about it, he has one video. Think of all the music he's done. He has one video called the Broken Glass video.
What's that about? Why only one video?
Bring him here and we'll take some pictures.
He's actually supposed to be on his way here. He got caught in traffic.
We'll take some pictures of him over there.
Thing, right?
We need some pictures.
Mouth, what people don't understand is Mouth does not care about none of that stuff.
I know, That's why we got care for it.
Right. See, that's what I'm saying. That's even with me. I'm like, okay, bro, I hear what you're saying. Cool. Man, if I gotta tie you up and shoot the video is gonna be called Tied Up or something because you gotta get this out. And I believe part of the reason was he didn't want to get caught in what you're saying, like the idea of why am I doing this? What am I doing? But I told him just as plain as day, you know, to me, he got filet mignon, but he giving it on paper plates. See what I'm saying? It's like, no, bro, we need the China. We got to put this. You have something great, you know what I mean? So we're gonna make sure you're not gonna stand in on if this is your pulpit, then you don't want to stand up there looking crazy with no haircut and you know what I mean? Like you're giving great word. But it's hard to get past the fact that you got toilet paper in your shoe.
I want to how many times, like, because I know at one time, I don't know his situation, but I know people were talking about him a lot, like especially in the 2000s and stuff like that. We were your Mouthpiece name a lot, and especially in the Metro Atlanta area. And just I wonder how many deals that he turned down. A lot
of deals from major Christian rap labels. I'm not even gonna say no names and stuff, but he turned down a lot. He lost a lot of relationship because of that too. Because he just, you know, like, no, I'm not dealing with that. To this day, you know, he's still, he's not at a point where a whole bunch of labels, because they're looking like, I think personally, I remember first meeting Mouth, and people used to say, oh, that guy, they would talk about him from the perspective of he doesn't really care about it. And I almost felt like he was being not blackballed, but people just they weren't supporting
like serious, like, he don't take it serious.
Yeah, he don't really want to do this, and they wouldn't support what he does. You know what I'm saying? So when he would put something out, it's just like, oh yeah, it's gonna be dope. And everybody's fans, like every time we meet somebody, whether it's young or old, especially the young ones, they make them feel old, because they be like, hey man, I used to listen to your music in my mom's garage. You know what I mean? When I was like 13. And I'm like, and these are artists who everybody knows now. So, you know what I mean? I think he's content with the impact that he's had. I told him he's a legend. To me, you know what I mean? He really is. He's a legend, you know what I mean? And he doesn't like hearing that, because that sounds like
you got to put living in front of it. You got to put living legend.
That's like you're done, you know what I mean? So I think he's working though right now. He's working on something right now. He's working on a new project right now, and I've heard probably 6 or 7 songs. He's probably already finished, but it's amazing, and we're finally at a point where I think he's gonna really push it. This might be it for him though.
Wow.
That's why I think it's gonna, because he's transitioning now to more of the ministry aspect.
That's all he wants to do. So last thing, speaking of what's coming up for his story?
Well, man, we could man, I'm in your town, so we're gonna let it know.
We breaking it?
Yeah, Trap Theology, his story. We are coming together, man.
Yeah.
Plain in the building. What's up, man?
Plain James, definitely in the building. We gonna come together, man, and do some things this year. We're gonna have some other artists that's gonna probably come through the brand with Trap Theology as well. People don't, you know, we're not gonna talk about that yet, but so we're gonna have some other artists probably just do his story in general. And yeah, man. So I'm excited for.
So it's like, is that gonna be the like the south side of his story? Like
it's funny because it happened that way, but we didn't. Me and James, we just came off a tour. What 2 months ago, and so it's funny. You get to see. You can't hide who you are when you're with a person 24 hours for 12, 13, 14 days in a smelly van just riding from city to city. You really see what a person is and what they like. You know what I mean? And we both kind of agreed. We were like, bro, we supposed to be together. We supposed to be doing this together because, you know what I mean? James, man, he different, man. People don't know. They judge a book by its cover, man. But when they say a real one, I don't equate a real one like the streets equate. You know what I mean? I'm like, nah, he really about what he say. Yeah. He really about what he doing. You know what I mean?
That's awesome, man. All right. You hanging out with us today?
Yeah.
All right. You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Shantana, DJ Jeremiah.
Hey guys, Miracle here. Thank you so much for watching that episode. Make sure you go below, like it, subscribe, click the bell, and make sure you follow us on all forms of our social media. Also, check out our website and be sure you spread the word. We'll see you next time.
We know not what we doing. Screw that, they know, let them have it, do it. Okay, I'm erratic, prove it. Never mind, got a mind that'll wind up with me in a lineup behind bars with these bars. Okay, my time's up.
Team Freedom.
Yeah.
We not through yet.
All right.
Trackstarz Music presents.
Turn my volume up. Turn me off.